In my 12 years of watching anime, Hoshino may have dropped one of the best first episodes in the medium that I've ever seen. Trust me, if there's one new show you'll want to watch from this year, it's this one. Hoshino follows a 16-year-old girl, Hoshino, a new rising star, as she navigates through the harsh reality of the entertainment industry. That's a really simplistic synopsis of the plot that doesn't do the show justice, and I'll be completely honest with you, if it wasn't for the fact that this series was created by Aka Akasaka, the person behind one of my favorite other series, Kaguya-sama Love is War, I more than likely would have just glossed over this show. I'm glad that I didn't, because holy shit, what a fucking premiere that was. A monstrous 90-minute prologue that not only explored Ai's character with great attention to detail, but showcased the good, bad, and ugly side of the idol industry in a grounded and realistic manner. And one of the best things that this premiere has to offer is that it works as a great standalone film. I can't say that the following episodes have lived up to the expectations of the premiere, as it's extremely difficult to keep up that level of quality, but for the most part it's been a pretty damn solid showcasing of all the ins and outs of the entertainment industry. And even if you don't like the series overall, you can't deny that it has an amazing first episode that stands on its own merits. Personally, I wouldn't say that I'm a big fan of idol anime or idols in general. In fact, I'm indifferent. Generally, when it comes to the portrayal of idol culture in Asia, whether it be Japan, Korea, or China, idols have been romanticized to the point of them being pure-hearted, innocent, and beautiful to an almost unhealthy degree. They're almost not seen as regular people anymore, but put to such an absurdly high standard where every action they take is under public scrutiny. Of course, it's not hard to see the appeal of idols, as on the surface, they're about cute girls with a warm and inviting personality, putting on a performance for mass audiences to enjoy. For the most part, 99% of idol anime I've seen or heard about have always conveyed the good and idealized aspects that come with working in the industry. These could be building familiar bonds with other members, connecting with the audience, or rising the ranks into fame and popularity. Hoshino, however, is one of the few anime that I've seen that actually tackles the more dark and insidious aspects of the entertainment industry that most people would rather not talk about. Don't be fooled into thinking that this show is all sunshine and rainbows, because it's not. Hoshino isn't an idol anime. It's a show about idols, much like how Perfect Blue was. Going into the 90-minute premiere, which was basically just a movie at that point, I thought that I had a general idea of where the show was going to go. Initially following Goro, a gynecologist doctor at a countryside hospital who supervises Ai's pregnancy, but then suddenly gets killed by an unknown stalker, he gets reincarnated into one of Ai's twin children, Akko and Marine, who still has memories of his past life. The other child, Ruby, was a terminally sick teenager in her past life who could barely stand. Serena was bedridden for most of her life and couldn't experience a normal childhood. The only joy in life she had was witnessing her favorite idol perform from the confines of her room. With this premise, I thought the show was going to follow these three characters as they navigate through the tumultuous environment of the entertainment industry, and I was right. Kinda. Nothing could have really prepared me for the ending of the episode, and I'm so glad that I didn't get spoiled to anything because its delivery was so spectacular, but we'll cover that a bit later. One of the most prevalent themes that the series explores throughout are lies, specifically the lies that idols and the entertainment industry convey to their audiences. What the public audience sees through the lens of a camera, phone screen, or television often isn't rooted in reality. In fact, it's the opposite. Getting a job and working in the entertainment industry isn't all the sunshine and glamour that it's portrayed to be. It's a harsh and unforgiving environment where only the very best have a chance at making it to the top. No normal person, no matter how much effort or hard work they put in, can hope to make it big if you aren't also born gifted or have industry connections. Hoshino, however, does have a gift. She's a beautiful and talented idol who's only born once in a generation. Whenever she performs on stage, Ai has such a captivating aura that forces people to gravitate and admire her shining and radiating energy. There's something special with Ai that a lot of other idols don't have, and if only she had the chance to show the world what she can do, her potential is limitless. Ai's eyes play an important role to her character, as the visual imagery and acute detail symbolize her shining and energetic personality, signifying she's a literal star with her star-shaped pupils. On paper, Ai seems to be the perfect idol that fans could root for their entire life. She's young, beautiful, full of of talent, and most importantly, gives fans what they want, her unconditional love. However, all of that is a lie. In the view of self-centered and obsessive fans, idols who are married or have a partner are seen as lesser people because it drops the illusion that anyone could be their partner. The industry, and in return, its fans, wants idols to stay single as it keeps their image pure, innocent, and untainted as it directly correlates with profits. It's a toxic trait that the culture holds, as fans are almost unable to see their idols as normal people. Although for Ai, that doesn't matter, as she plays into the lie with full force. For her, lies are a form of love, as she can put on a fake persona in front of fans and make them believe that everything is going well despite the struggles underneath. Ai's never experienced true happiness before, and so fakes it as to make people believe what they want to see. Hiding her true feelings was the first lie, and now she wants to keep the existence of her children a secret as to not displease her fans. Ai is overconfident, cunning, and in her own words, greedy for wanting to both be a parent and an idol at the same time. When she was young, Ai grew up in a children's home as she was abandoned by her mother. This caused her growing up to not know what love is, as she didn't receive love and care from her parents. This trauma is what would have shaped her psychology. Ai wants to have her children so that she can experience having a loving family that she never had, while also continuing to be an idol. It's a dangerous life she plays, with a scandal at any second that could abruptly end her career. Despite that though, she is adamant of wanting to live both lives, as she finds being an idol to be fun, but also a caring mother for Aqua and Ruby, and to give her children the love she never had growing up. Throughout its premiere, Oshino subverts its viewers' expectations multiple times, and this does a great job into hooking people into the actual lure of its story. At first, you think it's about Ai being able to balance having a family while also being an idol, but then it starts to place focus on Aqua and Ruby's perspective as they navigate through the entertainment industry as children, until finally, in the last few minutes, the show reveals its true colors of being a tragic revenge story. Oshinoko's premiere has to be hands down one of the best first episodes in anime that I've ever seen. The way it manages to juxtapose both the inspiring and hellish nature of the idol industry is impeccable. Most anime generally will always romanticize or fetishize idol culture, but when in reality, behind the scenes, it can be a brutal wasteland. While it is true that the songs, performances, and idols themselves can have a good impact on one's life, whether it be saving you from a dark place or discovering a niche you didn't know you wanted, the industry itself only cares about the monetization of its idols, which is true for most of the world. Higher-ups don't actually care about the art being performed, but more rather the views and popularity that boosts their agency into stardom. Yet, Ai Hoshino, who started as a cynical girl and through most of her career put on a facade of being the perfect idol, began to change over time. The lies she once told her fans, and most importantly herself, started to become the truth when Aqua and Ruby entered her life. She had a rough upbringing and so isn't the most perfect person in the world, but she doesn't have to be. All she needed to do was bring the love and joy to the people she cared about, and finally say the words she always wanted to believe in.
Ruby, Aqua, 愛してる.
Those words were the first and last time Ai was able to say to her children and genuinely mean it. Throughout all her life, she kept saying empty words to her fans, and so was scared that when it was time to actually love someone, she was afraid that her words would be lies. But as she takes her final breath and expresses her love for her children, she cries because she finally felt what unconditional love was, if only for a brief moment, as her once star-filled eyes fade into nothing. The twist in Oshinoko's premiere was not only shocking for so many people, but beautifully tragic with long-lasting effects throughout the entire show, even now. The slow build-up throughout the 19-minute run and careful execution was done so tenderly and respectfully. Instead of focusing on the cruel or horrific aspect of the scene, the series chooses to give Ai a bittersweet end, giving her final moment of happiness even if it was short-lived. Any other generic series would have placed emphasis on the dramatic moments, yet Akasaka writes in a way that you'll remember all the happy and inspiring moments that Ai lived, and that's what makes it so tragic. Rie Takahashi's performance as Ai is also just so stellar at that moment, which makes the scene hit that much harder. The death of Ai is felt by everyone around the world, but especially to those closest to her. However, unfortunately for them, the internet can be a really cruel place, with strangers writing that I deserved it or that she should have seen it coming. Ruby is utterly disgusted to see how other people could write such vile words about someone they don't know, but as we'll see later in Akane's story, this isn't an uncommon occurrence, as the online space can be absolutely cruel and toxic. Aqua, on the other hand, pledges to find the person who leaked Ai's address and vows to take revenge no matter how long it takes. It's at this point in the series where the show explores the many different avenues of the entertainment industry and what actually goes on behind the scenes. Aqua becomes an actor in order to further his goal of revenge by gaining inside connections, and even stars in dramas and reality dating shows. Ruby takes it upon herself to become an idol, just as I did, fulfilling her own dreams. After the time skip, Aqua is met with a familiar face at school, Kana Arima, the once stuck-up and arrogant child actor he worked with when they were children. Although now, as she has grown older, Kana seems more self-aware, approachable, and even friendly. This change in attitude and mentality comes from her past experience in the industry, as when she was a child prodigy, she was egotistical and rude to staff, which led to her not receiving more job offers. Kana got hit with a sudden reality check at a young age, being that even if you are talented, no one will want to work with you if you are conceited or extremely condescending to others. Kana invites Aqua to join her in a TV drama that's based off a shoujo manga they're adapting. At first, he's reluctant to join, but when he hears the director's name, he takes on the project, as the director could have connections leading to Ai's death. From what I've seen of the anime, Kana Arima is undoubtedly my favorite character in the entire series, and what really sold me about her was this entire arc detailing the adaptation of Sweet Today. Furthering Oshinoko's themes of lies, this arc shows how the entertainment industry isn't solely focused on creating good art, but instead will deceive the audience under the pretense of adapting a well-renowned manga, when in actuality it's just promotion for upcoming male models. While Kana is known for her acting prowess, the current project she's working on leaves a lot to be desired. On one hand, the directing can be considered decent for the most part, but the main problem lies with the other actors, as they're just pretty boys with zero acting capabilities. Kana states that behind the scenes, the main purpose of this adaptation is to draw female fans to the attention of newer models they want to promote, which means that acting ability is a secondary objective. However, this would never be said out loud to the public, as it would incite backlash. This is why Kana was casted as the female lead, because she's known for her abilities, but even with her talents, she's unable to save this project alone. Kana is a person who is emotionally intelligent and self-aware that her acting in this production is nowhere near her usual standard, and this is because she is actively holding back her skills, since if she didn't, the whole show would already be way worse than it actually is, showing how the male cast members are complete amateurs. Kana learned the hard way that good acting and creating a good show are different things. She knew that from the initial stages of production, it was impossible to create a good show in the sense that it would honor and respect the source material, as the mangaka looked completely dead on set. But despite all the setbacks, Kana and the rest of the crew still tried desperately to adapt it as best they could, and it's this growth mindset that Kana has that really endeared me to her character. She's a person who, no matter how bad the situation is, will try her absolute hardest because she wants to create good art. When she was a prodigy, she took her talent and potential for granted. She was hard to work with, treated people badly, and had terrible communication skills with others. Now, having grown up, she realized all of her flaws and is trying her absolute best with a renewed mindset. Her story of wanting to create good art is extremely relatable for myself, as both she and I have a passion of wanting to express ourselves through the art we make, and I'd be lying if I didn't say that it's through Kana's character that it inspired me to get out of my hiatus. The child prodigy Kana and the Kana now are two completely different people. The former didn't care about the opinions of others and so didn't establish good relationships in the industry, while in the present she may not be as good as she once was, but is now much more aware and reflective of everything and everyone around her. This makes productions and getting connections much easier as everyone cooperates well. So even if it means that Kana's acting ability is seen as lesser to the audience, As long as the final product can come out well, she couldn't care less about the public perception. In just these 3 episodes, Kana has managed to establish such a well-rounded character motivation that it's impossible not to root for. It's one of the primary reasons why she's such a fan favorite, me included. On the day of the final shoot, Kana explains to Aqua that the production is on a tight schedule with very minimal budget to work with. If this was any other normal production, the cast and crew would have multiple takes to get the scene shot right, but they only have one chance, and that's not even mentioning the bad weather conditions they're having. It's a tough situation they're in and almost looks as if they are set up for failure, but Kana isn't the least bit worried and even notices the amount of effort and subtle details that Aqua put into his performance. This arc really highlights the amount of work that goes into making a series possible, where everyone on the team, including cast and crew, have to be on the same page and be cooperative, because if they aren't, so many things can go wrong that could ruin an entire production. And I know that most people who watch any type of media, anime, TV, or film have no clue of how much goes on in the background. It's refreshing to see such a meta story that's very much relevant in today's online culture. Aqua may not be able to act quite as well as Kana, but because of his extensive experience with working with others, he's able to fully utilize his surroundings to put on a good performance. Kana notices all the things that Aqua is doing to enhance his acting, and this not only inspires her own performance, but sets her up in a way that genuinely makes the scene a good adaptation that fans and the author herself can be proud of. It's small, hopeful messages like these throughout the series that make Hoshino feel like a love letter to all aspiring artists everywhere. In a production that was destined for failure, if you have people who genuinely care about making good art and try their absolute hardest to bring out the best in others, it's possible to capture those moments where the art itself genuinely feels special. Inspiring and being inspired by others go hand in hand when it comes to creative expression. Aside from its premiere, episode 6 of Hoshino stands proudly as one of its best, being the climactic episode of Akane's arc covering toxic online abuse and what it can do to one's mental health. It's a story that anyone who uses social media can understand. The online space can be absolutely cruel and vile due to the anonymity of the internet. And speaking from personal experience, if you aren't accustomed or grew up in the online culture, getting comments that hate or criticize you can negatively impact your emotional state if you aren't ready. No person in reality would ever say such cruel things to your face and mean it, but people online think they can say and get away with anything. Combine this with the fact that Akane is a genuine and earnest person who wants to do better, she reads all the hate comments she gets when it's in her best interest not to do so. This leads her into a spiral of depression and eventually self-destruction, where she thinks that she's a burden to everyone and should just disappear. To her, it doesn't matter how much she tries to explain or apologize online. The internet will never let Akane's one small mistake go and will harass her any chance they get. It's easy to see why this could affect a person's mindset about themselves, as it feels like everyone wants you to disappear, even though it might just be the vocal minority. Strangers will stop making up lies about you and your family even though they've never met, until one day you're fed up with everything and just want the noise to go away. Akane walks on a bridge, stands on a railing, and walks off, only just saved in time by Aqua. Stories like Akane's online harassment aren't uncommon, especially in this day and age. In fact, Akane's arc was heavily influenced by the real-life tragedy of Hana Kimura, a professional wrestler who suffered a similar abuse and ultimately took her own life in 2020. Episode 6 of Hoshino came under controversy by Hana Kimura's mother, who criticized the series, saying that it disrespected the memory of her daughter and was insensitive as Hana's death was being used like free source material. I think Hana's mother has the right to criticize the show and voice her opinion, even though I disagree on the sentiment. What really pisses me off though is the hardcore Hoshino fans who didn't take the criticism well and started harassing her, completely missing the point of a series they were supposed to be fans of. I feel that media literacy online has been at an all-time low, and putting things on a pedestal, obsessing over a fictional work or person is extremely unhealthy. People online need to have a bit of empathy and understand that everyone makes mistakes and that's okay. There's no such thing as a perfect person, and even if you think you found one, that's most likely because that's what they want you to see. Overall, I think Oshi is a great series that isn't afraid to tackle the darker aspects of the entertainment industry in a refreshing way, but still finds that balance of creating and inspiring good art. The production of the series is top quality with immaculate character designs and solid animation. I didn't even get to talk about the music, but you already know that Yoasobi's OP is an absolute banger. Don't get me wrong though, I don't think the series is perfect. Aqua is still a little too edgy for me and lacks any real depth compared to someone like Kana, who completely steals the spotlight. Ruby is currently underutilized, but I have faith in Akasaka that in the following seasons she'll get her own arc. The series is extremely engaging for the most part and explores a lot of important and relevant ideas in the online space that many people can learn from. Kana is of course best girl, and I'll be patiently waiting for when she returns in season 2. Please subscribe if you enjoy video essays like these and want to be notified of when I upload. Sorry for the hiatus I took, it really shouldn't have been that long, but hopefully I'm back for good. Check out some of my other videos. It's been Kevin, and I'll see you all next time.